Okay, we're back. Adventures in Streaming. We just finished at Buc-ee's. We got back on the road just a few minutes ago, maybe 3-4 minutes ago. All right, well, so what do you think about Buc-ee's at 4 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday, Sunday night?
Well, if anyone heard us talking in part 1, I called it that there would be people there, just not as many as in daytime, and that's exactly what it was. There was a few. I would say a few.
Yeah.
But by the time we left, definitely a lot busier.
A lot busier.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the brisket. I noticed fudge. A lot of fudge. Did you not notice
That's
fudge?
because you were at. That's because you were looking at the candy table. But I think the brisket was kind of on the other side. But I have a feeling that right now, around like the 4 o'clock hour when we were in there, it's like a transitional period. As I was looking for some merchandise, and I think they switched it over to breakfast earlier than I thought.
I saw a few people grab some breakfast burrito type.
Yeah, they didn't have everything out though, because if you remember the last time we were in there, they had like those amazing biscuit sandwiches.
Yeah.
None of that was ready yet.
No.
So I have a feeling that maybe they go to breakfast like between 5 and 6. And from what I understand, they do breakfast till probably like 11ish.
Okay.
And then it goes like full on lunch. Like I don't think anyone cares about anything else but brisket after that.
It's good brisket.
It is good brisket.
So I don't know if all of our viewers know about Buc-ee's. They're few and far between. I guess I don't know all the locations on the map, but I think it's fair to say they're
definitely
predominantly in the southeast, and they go to Texas at least.
Oh, they're from Texas.
There you go.
They're from Texas. There's tons out that way. It's just now they're making their way this way.
Okay.
But like that one was in Florence, South Carolina. The next one that we'll hit is St. Augustine. So St. Augustine has one, and then you hit the next one just shortly after that in Daytona. Word of warning, if you're ever on a road trip and you stop at Buc-ee's in Daytona, it is next level busy.
Yeah.
It is insanity there. It's fun, but it is very busy. Very busy. But yeah. And sorry guys, we would have took you in had the gimbal not acted up on us in part 1, but we've got it all sorted out. We had to calibrate.
Yep. Got it calibrated.
Tech issues.
Like I said, Adventures in Streaming.
Yep.
We've compared to the videos that we've published this year, I was just thinking about this. So at the end of October, we crossed the 6-month mark.
We did.
We're kind of about 6.5 months, a little over 6.5 months now. 130 subscribers as of this moment.
Growing slowly, but growing.
Yeah. I've got my eye on 150. I mean, I know that some people they can sneeze and get 20 viewers, and that's fine. But I think it's the value and goal setting.
Well, I think it's the mindset we have too, right?
Yeah.
Like we're just trying to grow it, and we're still in big learning mode, right? And trying to figure out like proper times when to put videos out, but also at the same time we both work full time.
Yep.
So super busy time, and we just need to get like some kind of a schedule mapped out, and we have we have tons of content,
Oh yeah.
even from the last cruise still,
Oh yeah. Well, we've still got
Um,
content from
and even before
Disney.
the cruise.
We still
Yeah.
have content from Disney back in
Yep.
May,
So
which is hard to believe.
it's definitely a learning mode, but I think we're on the same mindset of like, yeah, we have 130 now, but I think we truly like celebrate every single one that comes in at us.
Yeah.
And so it's like baby steps.
Yeah. We want to hit that
And we're
150.
thankful for all of them.
So for all of you 130 that have already subscribed, thank you. And
Yeah.
looking forward to the 150. So it's fun to look at this, right? So we've done this for 6 months. You're right. This is not like a bunch of other people. This is not our full-time job.
No.
This is not what we are making a living off of. Not
No,
even remotely
no.
close. In fact, if anything, you could argue you lost money, but honestly, that's not the important part. We've had so much fun.
I mean, truly, when you think about it, this is a channel for fun right now. We're
Yes,
not monetized
absolutely,
whatsoever.
Absolutely.
I mean, that doesn't come till way later, if you ever get to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I also, one thing I've always thought about with this channel has been between us, it's always shown how we lean on each other and our different strengths.
Yeah.
You have such you have such passion and skill with, be it traveling in general, be it Disney, be it so many things, and social media as a whole, versus I've not done nearly as much travel, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And technology is a space that not only do I just love to play in it, as I like to say, but it's essential to what I do for a living. We'll leave it at that for today. And it's been fun. So we've really leaned on each other to get us where we are today. And even like tonight, right? We're like the streaming element of this is all relatively new. We obviously, the first stream that we ever did was back in August. We attempted a few streams. Our first streams were in Miami.
Yeah.
And we were actually the very, very, very first stream I think we tried was at wasn't it Wynwood Walls? Is that right?
It was.
And then we tried to do a stream over by, was it Bayside Marketplace? Do I have the name right?
Yep.
Bayside.
Yep.
And then, of course, our third and final stream, which was not just a learning experience from a technical experience, but also from YouTube policy experience, because our third stream was we got on the boat.
Ship.
Right. The ship, excuse me. Yes.
Don't let the captain hear you call it a boat.
I'll try not.
We did it a lot last time, guys. When you see the content coming out from the last one, we say boat a lot.
Yeah.
It is definitely a ship.
Yeah. That I think was it after we got back, after we got back to the land, we were sitting in we were flying out of Miami, and our plane wasn't until later that day. We had some time to kill, but we were sitting in one of the eating areas, food court areas. I think that's when I started getting notifications or emails or whatnot that one of our videos that we had posted was getting these the YouTube copyright claims, and that was the first time that we had seen that and needed to kind of parse through that, what that meant. Now, I will say this again: this is from from just being a content creator now side of things and wanting to make things as easy as possible, but also having an appreciation for the technology. I will say that and I guess I should back up a step, right? What had happened was we were for those who hadn't seen it yet, we were recording the ship leaving port. We'd actually gotten on the ship. We were literally going out to the ocean. We were moving away. We had other ships kind of pass us. We passed them as we kind of left the actual port itself. But in doing so, the ship put on.
Well, it was the sail away party, so people were like dancing, and they had part of the time there was a band, and part of the time there was a DJ, and well, the DJ was playing some well-known music on the deck, and so I think the thing to remember there is total learning curve for us, right?
Yep.
I would have never thought that, you know, with us being mic'd up with microphones on and really focusing on just the surroundings, you know, and the scenery and the ships passing us, that you could get a copyright warning from some background music that is not even what you're truly focused on,
Yep.
but you just hear it in the back, and still it was absolutely called out to us. But I guess the thing I would say is the nice thing is that YouTube allows you the chance and the time to rectify it, right? So
They do make it easy. They
make it easy for you to fix it.
They give you. So I will admit, their analytics are pretty well done, because they will. So your notice says, hey, for this video, during this starting timestamp to this later, you know, timestamp, you know, 1, 2, 3, however many minutes later, they detected it was such and such copyrighted song by such and such performer, where the copyright was owned by such and such person, and then it explained, you know, what if licensing terms, you know, were permitted by the copyright holder. And if you kind of read through those, and you know, if you felt that you wouldn't be compliant with those terms, then you can very easily tap into some features that YouTube provides in terms of, well, let's see, what were they? They were that you could remove that section of the clip altogether. You could mute that section of the clip altogether. You could tell YouTube use some advanced AI processing on that part of the clip to try to intelligently remove the offending music. I think the fourth option was basically
take the video down.
Take the video down altogether.
Yeah.
Either that, or maybe I'm conflating that with the idea that, well, you can challenge it. I mean, I wouldn't challenge it unless I had something to stand on, obviously, because if you lose your challenge, then that's one of your 3 strikes that you get. And we don't need to go into 3 strikes here today. Those are no fun anyway, but the short story is...
I don't know. I don't think I would ever try and challenge anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's well-known artists that we were like hearing, and well-known songs, so I don't think you have a leg to stand on when it comes to that, unless you're holding some kind of a license, right?
Right.
To utilize the music. But
so we actually,
all in all, easy fixes.
I would say that we further grew, because it wasn't long after that we had the idea to build out our intro. And we want to build out an intro that was, you know, not too long, not too short, something that, you know, ties into the branding, which is Walking Beyond Borders. You know, let people know that when you're watching one of our videos, it is us right out the gate. And in doing so, we wanted to put a little bit of music to it. And that was where we, you know, at that point we knew, well, we can't just stick, gosh, every video that we upload, we're going to get, you know, flagged as a copyright claim because we're using some copyright music. Well, so there's good news on this front. So there are websites that you can go to where you can, purchase the license for your music and then, use it in accordance with the license itself. We purchased a license from, I'm trying to blank on the name of the company, but YouTube YouTube has a mechanism that you can essentially, from the copyright holder or the broker who's providing a service that you can then license copyright music, you can make that purchase, and in doing so, you can provide your channel ID or some other linkage to your channel, such that anytime in the future YouTube analyzes your video and they detect this copyright music that you might want to use, they will go ahead and check, has there been a license filed on your behalf that shows that you have access or you have the entitlement to use it. And so that way, having done that, having bought a particular set of music that was permissive enough to use it without fear of getting hassled or any copyright strikes, we can upload all the videos that we want using that music as part of our intro, and we're in good shape. So that's really, really good. And we now have an intro on all of our videos that we record. So everything's been a growth experience. We've learned a lot here. We've learned a lot there. We're still, we still do a lot more editing on our phones than I would like at times. It's worked.
It works for now.
It works for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will tell anybody who is looking at doing 4K recordings, good luck if you're using an iPhone, but that's a whole nother conversation. But now like I said, we've got tons of content going way back to May, because we still got some Disney content to upload. We just uploaded our short the other day from when we visited the Lego BrickCon. That was earlier in the summer, and then we're in the process of slowly rolling out a lot of the updates that we had from our cruise together back in late August. We're getting there. Traffic remains in good shape. No rain.
I mean, it's still fairly early, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so, I mean, for people that don't know this drive or has never done it, when you start in North Carolina, you basically only have a few states to go through to get down to Florida. So you got to get out of North Carolina, you got to get into South Carolina, then Georgia, and then Florida. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's still from start to finish, from North Carolina to Florida, to Port Canaveral, with no stops at all. It's still an 8-hour drive, roughly speaking, 8 to 8.5. So by the time you add a few stops for, bathroom and drinks and food or what have you, you're probably looking at a good 10,
Yeah.
I think, when all's said and done. It's definitely a lot shorter than driving from Canada, I'll tell you,
That's true.
because that is a trek in itself. But if you break it up, some people can go straight through if you have enough drivers. I typically have never, ever done that. You know, I can only do so many hours in the car, and then I'm one of these people that have to get out of the car and, you know, put my back down and actually feel good about laying in a bed for a bit before hitting the road again. But yeah, the drive is probably like, whether you do it straight through or you break it up across 2 days, entirely.
It's a long drive.
It is a long drive, but it's fun, and I've never done it by myself. I've always been with other people, lots of family road trips, and so, you know, you can easily pass the time, and if you do have quite a few drivers, it's easy. You know, you can break up the time and do little jaunts, or, you know, if someone's just tired, it's easy just to pull over and switch out. And so, but you go through a lot more states doing that, because you have to come out of Ontario into New York State, and then New York State to Pennsylvania, then West Virginia, and then you get into the Carolinas, where we're at right now. So, yeah, definitely a longer drive. But a lot of people do it because you have the convenience of having your own car. And a lot of the times the airfare is very expensive, especially from Canada. Yeah.
I think for me, growing up, the longest, you know, the longest drive that I was, you know, in a car for was probably about 14 hours.
Yeah.
Driving from central North Carolina to to Illinois to see grandparents and cousins and whatnot. It was definitely a full day event. Cases where you'd have to get up and leave at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you wouldn't get there till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Do what you gotta do. Nowadays, it's a little faster that route because they just opened up. Well, I say they've opened up more routes. They've improved the roads, and yet, unfortunately, we're all coming off of Hurricane Helene that tore through much of the southeast, including western North Carolina, that caused a lot of damage and death and whatnot. Roads are not in great shape there. They're improving, but definitely not like they were. So speaking of tech, I'm anxious to, see how this video sounds later. We have noise cancellation. I said we pay attention to where do we improve. When I did the streaming for us back in August, I noticed right away, and you can hear it yourself when you go back and watch the videos, you just heard the wind right away. Particularly when you're on the ship at times. You just heard the wind just got in the way. At the time, that was actually the built-in iPhone microphone that was picking up all the sounds, and it was picking up the wind as well. So now we've got much better microphones. And if we are going to be encountering wind, if we were outside, we have wind muffs that we can put on them to filter out the sound. And it works pretty well. But we're in a car now, so wind muffs aren't going to help. And so we'll try the built-in noise cancellation feature and see how that goes. I'm so jealous that you're going to drive on all these non-work zone roads.
I wouldn't be jealous about this because this is, to me, the most boring part of this drive.
Oh. Well.
I always said, even like all the road trips that we've done, even from up north down, I feel like South Carolina is one of the, like, no hate to South Carolina people out there, but I feel like it's like the boring part of the drive. Or I feel like this because a lot of the times when I'm in this area, it's dark like this.
Yeah.
Because even if I leave a halfway point and I get to this area, it's usually in the middle of the night like it is right now. So maybe that's why I feel that way. Not sure. But I always feel like I'm just kind of driving. I've got big, tall trees on both sides of me, and that's it. It's dark, and there's nothing to see, nothing to look at, nothing of interest. So, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to do all the road construction areas you just went through.
Sure.
But I do like a little more scenery than what we're going through right now.
Yeah. Well, again, it's nice to be out of the work zone. We're at least moving at speed. Little traffic. Yeah, we look like we're in a corridor of trees. Outside of that, not a whole lot going on right now.
No.
Not a whole lot going on right now.
I think it's going to be like one of these things where you're going to have to make the call as to when you want to, like, end the live streams.
Yeah.
And pick it back up later on during our drive, maybe when it's light out.
Yeah.
And so maybe the drive will be like a couple of parts, going through different places. We didn't film anything coming out of North Carolina just because it was so early, and it was, like we said, nothing but construction. And you got the very, very beginning of South Carolina when we were approaching Buc-ee's, and who knows? I'll let you decide when you want to end this one, but maybe we'll, like, pick it up maybe when it's, like, light out, and maybe we'll, like, be in Georgia by then.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. So we'll let you guys go. We'll be back with you. It's a little bit lighter outside. Take care of yourselves. We'll walk with you later. All right. Bye, Jamie. Bye-bye.